Thank you for joining us for another segment of Priority Talk Radio. Greg Davis with you, and we're doing a very special series of segments concerning predatory gambling across the nation, and also how it could affect Alabama and is affecting Alabama. And Les Bernal is with us. He is the National Director of Stop Predatory Gambling, and I tell you, it is the go-to website if you want to understand the gambling issue in the country. It is stoppredatorygambling.org. And so we, in past segments, both by audio and video, we have covered a litany of issues. We've got many more ahead of us. We're just trying to break this down in bite-sized chunks for listeners and viewers, so that you can begin to understand how the gambling industry is predatory, and how the government shouldn't be partnering with corporate business interests to prey upon its own people. One way this happens, Les, is through these video lottery terminals. I guess is more the official name of them. The video poker machines, the video bingo machines. You know, they pick up all kinds of different names to try to nuance so they can somehow try to find themselves to be legal. Now, in Alabama, slot machines are illegal. Even on the Porch Creek Indian, the 3 casinos, they're illegal. They can't use those. And they're illegal across the board in the state of Alabama, any of these video bingo machines. A lot of people would say, hey, what's the problem with these machines? What's the big deal? Whether it's a slot machine or a video machine, they're kind of the same. I'll let you explain that. But they may say, what's the part of it's fun, it's entertainment, it's like playing a video game or something to that effect. Talk to us about these machines.
Yeah, so one of the key facts that your listeners need to understand about these so-called video lottery terminals or electronic bingo machines is, again, it goes kind of back to the running theme throughout this discussion, is that predatory gambling at its core is a form of financial fraud. It's a big con. And part of the con is the language that gambling operators use to circumvent state laws to try to put in these extreme forms of gambling. So a video lottery terminal is essentially, from you as a user experience, is like very similar to playing a slot machine. Technically, the math inside the machine, how it pays out, is what makes it a so-called lottery machine. Instead of playing against the house, you're playing against, in theory, like a lottery game is when you play against other people. So in theory, you're going against other people. But you, as a user experience, it's very much like playing a slot machine. A video
you push a button, things move on the screen.
But the experience of it, there's multiple lines. So the experience is very much like a slot machine. So it's a way that these gambling operators come in and try to circumvent state laws, to profit.
And here they'll call them bingo because they can print out a card of your winnings rather than just dropping money out. And then you have to take the card and turn it in and claim your prize like you would with bingo. Yeah. But our Supreme Court has ruled over and over and over again that these machines are illegal based on Alabama's Constitution. So they are illegal.
Yeah. So, but they're slot machines. It's just another electronic gambling machines. Before online gambling came on the scene, electronic gambling machines are the most dangerous and addictive form of gambling. Between 40 to 60% of electronic gambling machine profits come from citizens who become addicted to the gambling machines. So just like we talk about online gambling, the business model is 86% of the profits come from 5% of the gamblers. With electronic gambling machines, it's not as extreme, but almost as extreme, where the business model is still based on the addicted player. Because this is, again, a known, dangerous, and addictive product. And that's why you and I can't run our own casino. The state can only operate with the blessing of the state because it's a form of fraud and because it's such a dangerously addictive product.
Well, now I will say we could run one in our state. We could set up a place and run them, Les, but we would have to pay off people in order to do it.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's important. There's no grassroots
because people are running them, but it's corrupt.
Yeah, and I think people need to understand. So we call this phenomenon the Hypocrite Hall of Fame. And the Hypocrite Hall of Fame, has a lot of future inductees coming out of Alabama as well. So what the Hypocrite Hall of Fame is it's on if you go to our website, we have a whole post where we talk about all of we've identified quotes from all these major casino executives, billionaires, many of them, slot machine makers, governors, state legislators, mayors, who stand up and they say, let's bring in casinos. I'm going to bring this. This is great for your community. This is great with great revenue source. but then they privately acknowledge, hey, you know what? But I'm not a gambler myself. You know, the idea that this is commercialized gambling, predatory gambling, is the only product or service in America where the people that own it and promote it, they don't use it. So the restaurant chef, he eats the local barbecue guy, Jim and Nick's right at Birmingham, like that guy eats his food that he cooks. Like Julia Roberts, she watches the movies she makes. Nick Saban watches football games. This is the only product or service where the people that own it and promote it don't use it. So most of these legislators who are pushing gambling here in the state, governors, the statewide officials who are endorsing this, they don't gamble. So there's an incredible hypocrisy here. They have retirement funds, they have investments, they own a home, they have an emergency fund for a crisis. Half the country, including here in Alabama, they don't have any assets whatsoever. They literally live week to week, paycheck to paycheck. And these are the extreme forms of gambling that we're pushing on people.
The way they can have that security is to go out and try to win in these gambling operations. That's the way they think they can get it.
That's right, yeah. So
they have no other hope or no other way.
Yeah. So in the state markets these gambling games as this is your best, and they will literally print this right on the scratch ticket, or the advertising for the billboard will say, here's where the winners play. Even though it's designed to get you to lose, but they'll market these scratch tickets. For example, they'll say your fastest way to $1 million. Anybody who's successful in life, most of your listeners, likely middle income folks, or over the years, the way you build financial security in this country, it's the Dave Ramsey approach, right? It's getting out of debt, slowly saving money week after week over the course of a lifetime. That's how you achieve financial security. That's the American way. And so predatory gambling, it shrinks the middle class, So anyways, so it's time that if you're a legislator and you're endorsing this, or you're a governor and you're endorsing this, if it's not good enough for you to use, why are you encouraging the people of your state to do this when you know it's a con? That's why this whole thing it's a ripoff.
Well, Les, I have absolutely heard that. Now I don't ever gamble. I don't ever use those machines. This is from legislators and people. I don't do that. But if the people of Alabama want to vote so they can do it, that's fine with me. You know what I mean? And it is hypocritical. Yeah. Something is that bad. I've had them tell me, I'll vote for it in the legislature, but when it goes to a statewide ballot, then I'll vote against it. Yeah. And I'm like, you're going to swap one of 35 votes to be one of 3 million? Yeah. What sense does that make? Yeah. You were put in a position to do what was right and best for the citizens of our state.
Again, that's another part of the hypocrisy by many of our public officials who of both parties, Republican establishment and Democratic establishment, who are pushing this. So when they talk about, some legislators will try to have it both ways. They'll say, well, personally, I don't like this, but I'm going to vote for it, so let it go to the ballot. And I always say to these legislators, if you were in a primary or in a general election and you were outspent 3-1 in your campaign, no matter your merit, there's a very good chance you might lose that election. Okay. Now imagine going on the ballot and being outspent 1,000-1 or 10,000-1. In the idea that somehow democracy is going to work, because that's what's happening. You put this to the ballot. The gambling interests who are spending millions of dollars already here in Alabama, virtually every lobbying firm in the state of Alabama has a gambling client now. Okay, so this is it's the biggest lobbyist employer in the state, in every state is the gambling industry, and that somehow you put this on the ballot, somehow you're gonna have a real debate, an informed debate on this. They're gonna outspend people 1,000-1.
Yeah, to get their message out.
So that's part of the lie.
Because it's an investment for them, because they stand to gain from it on the other side.
That's right, because there's no grassroots movement for predatory gambling. Citizens aren't pounding the table saying, I want $50 scratch-off tickets in my local convenience store or gas station. Yeah. I want electronic gambling machines in my local laundromat, which is the truth in other states.
So let's back to these machines, these video, before we wrap this segment up, these video bingo machines, as they're often referred to in Alabama. They're highly addictive. They're set up to be that way. There's a psychological element to these that creates a chemical reaction in people that
like drugs,
them to these machines.
It's like as the science tells us, the American Psychiatric Association has defined gambling as addictive as opioids, cocaine, and heroin. These playing these machines is that experience. That's the kind of high that you get. But in addition to the public health danger it is, they're also designed to get you to lose, like over and over again financially. Okay, like, so these are machines, like the exact language, this is right from Natasha Shull, who was on 60 Minutes, which did a major segment on electronic gambling machines that was called Addiction by Design. And they identified this. The exact quote from the industry is, they're designed to get you to play to extinction until all your money is gone. Right? That's from the lips of a gambling industry executive, that they're play to extinction. So why would state government officials encourage people to play a game where, as I said to kick off this whole interview, that where the people that make the machines consider the people that use slot machines as losers? Okay? All right? You know, the idea that public officials would bring this product in when they themselves don't gamble, it's the height of hypocrisy, and it's what's broken about American government today. This has nothing to do about gambling. This has everything to do about the role of government in America today, and what you want out of America. It's not, we get so caught up on candidates who run for office. This is the defining issue in America today. This is America's most neglected major problem. You want to change the direction of Alabama and change the direction of your country? It runs through getting government back into the side of the American people and taking them out of the ripoff game, which is predatory gambling. Les
Bernal is our guest with Stop Predatory Gambling. Do look at the website. Much of what he is saying, it's documented there on the website. We give it away. It's on the website, stoppredatorygambling.org. All of this information that we'll talk about, you can find it in one form or another there. All right, this is a series of segments as we talk about commercialized gambling, and in the state of Alabama, we know that there's a big push for that currently, and so we want you to be well informed with both sides, all sides of this issue. So let's take a break and come back with another segment with Les Bernal as we continue to talk about gambling. We're exposing some of the myths of gambling right here on Priority Talk.